It's going to be a huge Week 4 matchup at the Caesars Superdome as the New Orleans Saints host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both teams 2-1 on the season, both coming off losses, though the Saints do have a 1-0 start in the division. These two squads have combined to win the last 6 NFC South championships, though both are looking for new identities this season. The big story out of New Orleans, of course, is the status of Derek Carr, who injured his shoulder against Green Bay. He's likely out, meaning that former Bucs #1 pick Jameis Winston will get to start against his former team. The defense outside of the final quarter against Green Bay has pretty much done its job. When you look at this edition of the New Orleans Saints, it's hard to find a team with more talent at the skill positions offensively, or a team with the type of veteran leadership at all 3 levels on defense. But something isn't right, and they need to start figuring things out this weekend, hopefully with a win over Tampa Bay. For Bleav in Saints, I'm David Grub.
Rhett and Evan from the Cannon Fire podcast here, taking a look at this Week 4 matchup between Tampa Bay and New Orleans. The biggest weakness for the Bucs this week that needs to be addressed is probably their issues with the run game. Weeks 1 and 2 against inferior opponents, they were able to control the clock, they were able to run the ball, and the offensive line, while they didn't do the best job, they did just enough for Rachaad White to go out there and perform. But when you put him up against the NFL's #1 run defense against Philly on Monday Night Football, it was non-existent. And all the juice that this Bucs offense had the first 2 weeks of the season completely disappeared.
Rachaad White against Philly had 14 carries for 38 yards, averaging 2.7 yards per carry. Just simply not good enough against one of the NFL's best. And like you said, you can get away with that against an inferior team. Not going to fly against a really good team like the Eagles. And actually, the Bucs run game itself has really struggled this season so far. Last year was a really tough year for the Bucs run game, averaged 3.4 yards per carry. This year, through 3 games, they're averaging 2.8 yards per carry. So Dave Canales is going to continue to search for answers here on how to improve the Bucs run game and find balance in the offense.
Yeah, it's a tough divisional opponent, but the Bucs run game and the offensive line going to be looking to improve this week in a pretty tough contest.